Good morning and welcome to International Dyno Authority. We want to welcome this car, which is a 2018 370 Nissan. We also want to welcome the driver who brought it here, the owner, Johan. 9.5 hours to get here from Kapuskasing, Ontario. We're going to go through the tune on this. These are an awesome platform to tune. The intake cam, we can adjust literally everything. So we're always going to start with fueling, but once we're done fueling, we're going to move on to that intake cam, which we can adjust duration, we can adjust opening, we can adjust ramp speed. So we have infinite ability to adjust that, and another 30 degrees of adjustment on the exhaust cam. This should be an exciting tune. This is really going to wake this car up, and we're looking forward to seeing it go. Okay, today we have Brody Dover from Dover Labs tuning this 370Z. These are a little bit of a different item to tune. They knock from the factory. So we ran 3 baseline passes. They're all very consistent. The torque range from 212 at the wheels to 219 at the wheels. The horsepower started to come up, which is typical. We saw it come in at 258. Go up to 263 horsepower at the wheels, and then come back down to 251. As soon as it got a bit of temperature, the computer is very unhappy and starts telling it, hey, the timing curve's too aggressive, I'm seeing too much heat, we're gonna make some less power. So we went down within 30 seconds of making back-to-back passes. We lost 12 horsepower from one pass to another. So that's where we are right now. We're gonna call this our very best baseline pass though. 215 foot-pounds of torque at the wheel on the green line, 263 horsepower at the wheel on the red line. We have lots and lots of work to do with this between cam angles and working with the timing and getting the fueling correct. It's got long tube headers, so we have to make sure that the fuel curve works all the way through the range for those. It'll be a little bit slow at the bottom, but as soon as it starts to scavenge, it gets extremely efficient, and we can take advantage of that and then start to match the cam angles to that, get the air to come through, and this is going to be a beast. Can't wait to see where we end up. Okay, this car sounds amazing, and on the baseline, we already discussed that it made 263 horse, 219 foot-pounds of torque. Now, what we're able to do with this car when Brody from Dover Labs is in there and he's tuning, he's able to manipulate the cams so that he can bring the power on sooner, he can make it accelerate harder at a lot lower RPM. And the way you do that is you have to make a few changes with the intake cam. You have to match it with the exhaust, but you have to get that intake cam opening as aggressively as you can so you can get the air in as soon as you can without overdoing it. If you overdo it, what's going to happen is going to kill the airspeed. It's going to go outside of a parameter. It's really not going to help very much. If we look here, though, on the green line, we're going to see a bump right here. And what this is the stock tune coming in, and it's opening that intake cam a little bit. But it's really not taking advantage of what we can do. So I want to show you the way this comes up, and then it just kind of rolls over. It's really flat, it's nice, it's okay, but it's boring. I'm going to bring up number 9 pass. So number 9 pass, we'll actually see where that bump has been moved forward like we were talking about. It's now making more acceleration sooner, more torque at a lower RPM. So now, when we look here, this bump has been moved back. It now comes up and it stays up, and you'll see another bump over here. He's attempting to keep this up as high as possible, but also move the acceleration as soon as he can. So right at about 3,000 RPM, the cam starts to open up fairly aggressively, and it stays pretty aggressively opened all the way till, looks like about 5,500 RPM, which allows the horsepower to just climb and climb and climb all the way through here. So this is what this platform gives us with tools to work with. We have software that allows us to tell the cam when to open, how much to open, and how long to stay open. And we can do that with the intake. So you have duration, lift, and then you have degree compared to 360 degrees of the crank. We also have the exhaust cam that we can now match to that. If you open the exhaust too soon at the bottom, you lose all the compression that you have. You've opened the intake and then you just let it out the exhaust. Not what you want to do. As you get up in RPM, you want to open the exhaust more and more and more aggressively because you want to get that out and not compact it, and you'd like to make as much power as you can. It's the ideal setup because you get multiple cams throughout the range that you just can't have. Back in the 70s, we had one cam, we put a chain on it, it spun, that was it. It was half the speed of the crank. This, we can vary it on both sets of cams throughout the range. Really, really nice. Now, we are currently at 291 horsepower at the wheels at 7,100, 260 foot-pounds, which is a significant gain. We were at 215, we made a peak of 219, we were at 263 horsepower coming in. It couldn't maintain and it couldn't repeat it. So let's get on to the next step and see what Brody has in store for us on this 370Z. Okay, Brody worked his way through, got the cams exactly where he wanted it. He spent quite a bit of time making sure the fueling was good and the timing was spot on. Actually tried to add a bit more timing. The long tube headers didn't want it, so able to maintain the power without adding a whole bunch of ignition timing, which could get you into problems anyway. So we now have 355 horsepower. We now have 296 foot-pounds of torque. This is at the wheels. From the factory, this is only rated at 332 horse at the crank. This is now going through the drivetrain, through the transmission, out through the axles, the tires, onto the ground, and putting 355 horsepower and 296 foot-pounds of torque. Our time for the pass, which goes from 2,000 to 7,000, roughly, it dropped. So we went from 5.3 seconds down to 3.8 seconds. So we've taken 2 seconds off that time. The engine was just lazy. When they come in, they're just super lazy. I'm gonna show you a quick overview so you can see how much more torque it has right off the hop. If we look over here and we compare hop to hop, it was making 188 foot-pounds when it came in at 2,400. It's now making 237 foot-pounds of torque right off the hop. So it makes more torque at 2,400 now than it did peak before, which means it's going to pull all the way through the range. He worked with the cam to get the cam to come in, and eventually that cam come in, and it is really accelerating nicely. Absolutely happy with what the result was today, and this is a big improvement. Customer's gonna be extremely impressed with the way it feels.